right, you guys ready? Okay. Well, I told the kids I was really pleased with the way that they practiced today. It's Wednesday. You're 3 weeks or the third week of camp, and you're getting ready to finish up the camp part and head to game prep stuff, and it's hard. I mean, we had a very physical practice on Monday. We had a very good shells practice yesterday, and so really kind of challenge them to not have a letdown today. Just really pleased. We've stacked together 3 solid days in a row this week, just as far as the way we compete. Had a variety of different situations today. Did some tempo stuff. Did some some progression stuff during the team period where you just kind of play the ball live spot in certain situations, and I thought we handled it really well. And I think we're executing just a little bit better both sides of the ball every day. So pleased with where we sit right here today, and just want to finish up the week really good, and finish up camp on Saturday, and then start getting ready for our opener.
CJ Johnson in the past maybe missed some practice time with little stuff here or there. It seems like he's been out there most of camp. How has he come along?
I think he's had the best camp that he's had since I've been here, and I think there's lots of reasons for that. I mean, I think his freshman year, he's a true freshman, and I'm just telling you, and it's even more that way now. At the freshman, it's a reality shock, out there on the field. Last year we had the pandemic. They weren't here all summer, they weren't here all spring. So this is the first year that he's had a whole summer of training, and he's in the best shape he's been in. I mean, he's down under 220. He's running very well. He's really matured, and I think he's having a really good camp.
Kind of on the other side in the defensive backfield, there's so many names and older guys from Saba to Ford to
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I mean, how is that kind of sorting out as far as some of the leaders during practice and stuff?
Well, I mean, I think it's been great because you've had so much competition. I mean, it's push. You can't go out there and take a day off. I mean, if you go out there and you're not on it, you'll look up the next day and you'll be down the totem pole. So I do think it has caused them to push each other, and I think that there's so many guys that are playing their best ball right now. Juwan Powell's one that just really stands out to having an outstanding camp, and it's he's a third-year guy, and he had some issues when he was young, and but just his maturity and just his competitive spirit. And Warren's the steady old guy back there, and he's the guy that he knows the defense. He can play any of the 3 safety spots, and that's something that's a luxury to have a guy that has that kind of experience and that kind of handle on the scheme. So I think that they're all pushing each other, making each other better.
Your backup quarterbacks seem to be getting a good grasp of what's going on. At least it's how it looks from the sideline. Talk about their progress as you head into the last couple of weeks here.
Well, I think it depends on what day it is. Some days I think they do, and some days, it frustrates me. But I think that all 3 of the guys that are competing for the 2 have shown flashes that they can handle the job, and then all 3 have done things that frustrate you. So I think that the next 2 days, and Saturday especially, is a big day towards deciding who that guy is.
You guys are obviously always competing, but would you like kind of those spots on the depth chart to be pretty much decided after the scrimmage going into that preparation?
Yeah, and I mean, the quarterback's a little bit different, but we have so many positions, and running back is the best example. Where you've got 2 starters. You got 2 guys that if you give me my pick of everybody in the conference, those are the 2 I'd take. Okay, and one of them's not the starter and the other one's the backup. They're both starters, and we have so many positions on both sides of the ball that are exactly like that. Corner is another one. I feel like you have J-Mac, you have Malik, and you have Nolan, that all 3 are starters. And DeMel has really come on and pushed there also. So I think that, I want some things decided, but I don't know that you're going to sit here and say you got 11 on this side and 11 on the other side, and that's it, because you have so much more depth than what we've had the past several years.
How have you seen Xavier Smith progress through camp as he's trying to figure out, that even spot?
Well, he's always played, always. Before I got here, he played tight end his freshman year. He's played inside linebacker for us the last 2 years, so he's playing the stand-up outside linebacker, for us during camp. He's a guy that's going to play, a lot of different places this year. We still rep him at inside linebacker. We just happen to have some depth there. But, as we get into some of our packages and stuff, he's a guy that's going to be very, very important. Now, it does put a lot of stress on him. It challenges him to, number one, he's got to really understand the scheme well, and he's got to be focused every snap, because it's not something where this is his third year doing it, and it just comes old hat. So I do think it stressed him. I do expect him to be, one of our best defenders. I expect him to be one of the leaders of our defense, and I expect him to be an impact player. I don't care what position he's playing.
When you got here, Coach, guys didn't talk on the field. There was no line of communication. There was no yapping. And now it's constant.
Right.
Every position on the field, too deep, guys are calling out things. How did you develop that as the head coach?
Well, they're either coached to do it or they're allowed to do it. That's the deal. And the kids, for the most part, they'll do what you demand of them, because they want to win. They want to be great. And so it's a whole thing of, communicating to them the importance, showing the importance, but then demanding it from them during practice. Everybody hears the music at practice. Well, yeah, it adds some energy. But the other thing is it forces them to communicate like it's going to be in Charlotte, like it's going to be September 11th here. It's going to be loud, both places. Okay, it forces them to use verbal signals and hand signals, and it forces them to get a reaction. We always say you give a signal, you get a signal. That way you know that your teammate got the communication. And I think it's just something that our coaches have done a good job of just really demanding of them, and then the kids demand it of themselves.
When you look at the last scrimmage from the weekend and then this second one, is there anything you want to see different or the same, or any, as far as transitioning those two things?
Well, I think I'd like to see better execution. I'd like to see the intensity level at a higher level, and then I just like to see our guys that I know are guys, play like guys. The guys that are going to be our playmakers, I want to see them make those plays. So I just think it's a challenge to see us play, the way I know we are, and we're going to try to get everybody work. So you're going to see the frontline guys in there, and you're going to see some of the depth guys in there. So I think it's, for a young guy like Pop McKay, this is different than anything he's ever done in his life. And and that, it's to the point when we did inside run today, and I'm telling you, that ain't for the faint of heart. Now they are striking each other. It's the way I wanted it to be. When I got here, I talked about it when I took the job, and it was a dang pillow fight, and it ain't that way anymore. And so for a guy like him, now Saturday's so important, because it's going to be the closest it's going to be to a game situation, so that when he steps foot on the field, whenever it is, whether it's down in Charlotte or later on in the season, when he steps foot on the field, he's prepared to be successful. And so I think these live situations, whether it's a session of practice or that scrimmage on Saturday, are so important for those young kids.
Talked about CJ stringing together practices. Ramsor kind of the same boat, where he's missing time in the past. He's practiced pretty well, it seems like.
He's been out there.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased with the linebacker core, period. I think Bruce, Miles, and Aaron, all three older guys, experienced guys, that's what gives us the flexibility with Xavier. I think Taylor Jackson is coming along, but Aaron has instincts and has that quick twitch that you can't really coach that stuff. So it's been good to have him out there to get the reps and be prepared. And it was tough when we lost him. Our first year there in the middle of the year, he was just starting to play well. And so I hope that just having a good preseason, will enable him to have a fast start to the regular season. Anything else? All right, thanks a lot.